Julius Caesar twisted everything so we would seek external validation instead of going within. The instruction manual is built within the machine. What do you do when you go within? You meditate. When we go within, we meditate and we find the kingdom of heaven, because the kingdom of heaven is within. So, what happens when we meditate? What do? We go within. Well, the church taught us to go externally, but the answer is to go internally. Divinity is so powerful, it cannot be eliminated, it cannot be suppressed, it cannot be deleted. It is the divine spark of God. So the bad guys, instead of deleting it and getting rid of it because they couldn't, what they did was they twisted the story so you wouldn't think that you had your own divinity and power within yourself. Well, now the truth is coming out where everybody knows and understands that the power is within us. What do we do when we meditate? We go within. Right? There's new truths coming out now because the consciousness of humanity is changing. Now the consciousness is turning to the Christ consciousness. The Christ is not a person or being. The Christ is the divine spark of God. It is what you are. It is who you are. The Christ spark, the divine spark is within you. It's what you are. It's not another being or another person. The Christ is you. You're the Christ divine spark within you. And we have to unlock the divine spark. But the divine spark is within all of us. So in order to unlock it, we sit for 10 hours a day for 10 days. And we do the 4 pillars. Shortcut to awakening and ascension and enlightenment. So if you want to reach enlightened state of mind, if you want to reach the spiritual awakening, then we sit for 10 hours a day for 10 days. This is how I unlocked my divinity within myself. And there's many people doing it regularly. But the problem is nobody wants to listen to us preachers who are preaching the truth. Because a lot of us, we don't want to deal with the cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is when the person gets mad and angry because the story that you're telling them, the new truth, is different from the cult that we were raised in. So then they're going to accuse you of being a cult. False. The cult is what we were raised on. So we have to get that straight first. Now the truth is coming out. If anybody chooses to do a cult or lead selfishly, well, God will punish them, but that's on them. The truth is that the divine spark is within you. So if anybody is trying to teach you or show you that the truth is you, this is the answer, this is the truth, the way, and the life. But if you go around and you tell people that the answer is within you and they tell you that it sounds like a cult, this is a person who is perfectly brainwashed and indoctrinated into the false system. This is conditioning. Anybody who preaches cult-like activity, first of all, they're the ones probably doing it, and they're projecting what they're doing. Or secondly, they have no idea what the truth is. The ones who know. And the ones who know, they're already there probably. Or they've gotten there already a long time ago, and nobody else wants to follow because nobody understands the state of consciousness and awareness. When you're a different frequency as somebody else, let's say, let me give you an example. An awakened individual, for instance, is going to have a hard time talking to an unawakened individual because the consciousness is different. This causes a separation. But we have to remember that we shouldn't separate. We should just try our best to understand because the frequency is different. That's all that the problem, the issue there is just the frequency is different. That's why it's so hard to have conversations with some people, because you guys are on such different frequencies that it's hard to even have a conversation. Does that make sense? What's happening here is the reason it's hard to have a conversation with certain people, and the reason why you can't share your truth or you can't speak or you can't have a meaningful conversation is because the frequency is different. The consciousness is different. In order to unlock this divine consciousness, you have to do the work. The saying is, many are called, few are chosen. Who are chosen? God chooses the people who do the work. Well, there's people that say, oh, everyone's chosen. Well, no, that's not true. Not everybody gets a trophy just for participating. God only gives the gift to the people who do the work. We're not going to play this game like, oh, well, I'm enlightened and I'm awakened. Oh, I must be too. No, this is like a false awakening, false enlightenment. This is maybe a good example of this would be spiritual psychosis, where you think that your reality is something completely different. But again, they're making labels and language and words with things to steer us away from our divinity. So you have to pay attention on what the medical field says, because that's all altered and changed specifically to serve an agenda of power and finance only, not health. The reason they call it the healthcare industry is because it's dealing with health, but it should be called the sick care industry because they make the money off of keeping people sick. Conscious Endeavors. Have a good day.